If you ever wish to learn more and you have a plan to deploy your infrastructure to the cloud, these are the terms you should know before to start deploying, configuring, or hosting any application in the cloud. So guys, my name is Harshangra, and in this video we are going to know more about infrastructure as a service. We call it as IaaS. Second one is platform as a service. We call it PaaS. And the third one is called software as a service, SaaS. These are the cloud offerings by, I think, all of the cloud solutions providers around the globe. And I think we all should know before to start, dive deep into the cloud deployment. The very first one, on a brief idea, the first one is IaaS, which is called infrastructure as a service. If you ever wish to deploy or migrate your running physical infrastructure to the cloud, so this is the term you should know. Definitely in this video, I will try to give you more examples and more better understanding about IaaS. Similarly for rest of the two offerings as well, PaaS and SaaS. The second one is called platform as a service. On a brief note, the platform as a service allow us to install operating system on these physical boxes we just recently migrated, or we wish to create a new one in infrastructure. Also, we can find some already available tools or developer tools which we can use straight into these cloud boxes, and we can start deploying our application. The third one is called software as a service, which is a very commonly used word around the globe because we all are using software as a service recently. I think if you are using Office 365, I think the best example to understand this. So Office 365 offering your storage space, your email hosting services, your SharePoint, and many other advantages while using Office 365 services. So actually it is all about software as a service, or wherever you can find any organization are offering any kind of software or any kind of application, and they are giving us some subscription based offering. So it means it's a part of our software as a service. I think you get some basic idea about these three different terms. Let's deep dive into these all different terms. And yeah, it is a very important one to know and to begin with more knowledge about cloud computing. So guys, let's begin and let's try to learn more about these offerings. Now we know what are the advantages of the cloud and how it can help us to save a lot of money. So these organizations actually start planning to deploy their on-premises infrastructure to the cloud. So the first question is how they can start or what they have to start with. So the very first point here is the infrastructure as a service. You need to know these terms and you need to understand more about this first. So let's start with an example, and let me try to elaborate or try to give you one example which will help you to understand why you need to start with the infrastructure as a service and how you can actually start leveraging those resources in the cloud. So here, I think you know this guy. This guy was always trying to build a infrastructure or on-premises infrastructure with for streaming services to entertain people, right? With the subscription. So we are not going to talk about that today. So the point here is this guy is responsible here to maintain the data centers, which is running right here. And this data centers, as you can see, I just put multiple rack servers. So don't worry, we are not going to talk about this in details about the racks or what they are and how they can help us. You just need to understand there are many servers running within the organization, and it is all on premises. Now, while these data centers are running, these all are having CPUs, many CPUs. They have storages, which maintain lots of data for the organization. They are running with the networking, like network devices, routers, firewalls, security applications, and all other stuff related. And also it has running with the hypervisors, or we call it virtualization. Actually, these virtualization is responsible to build multiple virtual machines on the same physical infrastructure. Don't worry, I'll try to give you some example in a bit. So let's try to understand first what I'm trying to explain here. So point here is, guys, actually this is running an on-premises server, and this guy is hence a guy. Let me prepare some Here's here. So actually this guy is responsible for to maintain this specific data center. And this guy is a little bit big guy. He's a boss and he's maintaining all of the stuff. For example, he's maintaining this network security, he's maintaining the hypervisors, he's also maintaining the storages, the data access, everything else. So point here is when you have to start maintaining your servers, you're always getting these issues. I remember those days whenever I start maintaining any server, let's say we have to start maintenance, we have to send an email to everyone and I said, hey, we need to shut down our server between this time to this time. So if you are not able to access your data, please don't mind because we are doing this in a maintenance part and it will take some time to update these resources. So people said, all right, don't worry. And especially when we have to maintain the server or anything goes down during on a physical level during the working hours. So everybody start chilling and everybody is having a coffee, start conversation. Lots of funny thing is happening in the organization. So, those time is actually hard for an IT administrator who is maintaining these things because the bosses, they always chase these guys down and said, hey, how much time it will take to make this up and running. So let me conclude. Actually, I don't want to discuss more about this. So the point here is you need to maintain those servers physically, number one. When you have to start maintaining or start upgrading those servers, you always find challenging, right? Whereas in today's world, or to start leveraging infrastructure as a service from Azure or any service provider, you just need to contact the cloud solutions provider and said, hey, I need to purchase your infrastructure. So they start with the subscription. We have discussed about this in the CapEx and OpEx. And when they start subscription, they said, hey, I have a server on which I need 20 CPU. I need this much storage and I need this much security on that application. So they don't need to worry about that. They simply go to the cloud application, which is provided by these cloud solutions provider. And in today's video, we are talking about Azure. So Azure will have a portal where you simply go and start building your machines straight away. It is up to you or your budget, how many CPU you want to assign, how much storage you need, what kind of networking you would like to apply. Like for example, you would like to use a public IP address. It's right there for you. You just need to click somewhere and your public IP address will be in place and it is always in use for you. If you don't want to use public access, you want to apply some security, it's right there for you. I mean, all the options right there for you with just a couple of clicks. So the point here is we have discussed in the past as well, the cloud platform is actually is very flexible because, we also had a challenges in the on-premises. I remember that one of the developer contacted me and said, hey, Harsh, can you help me to arrange a physical server for me? Because this physical server, he would like to test with the 30 CPU. And after that 30 CPU, he would like to try with a 10 terabyte of hard drive or storage space because he would like to test some application using that much storage, and he would like to see whether how the storage behaves and how CPU behaves or how RAM behaves while testing his application. So those days was actually a very difficult for me because I need to contact my higher management or the organization owner and said, hey, this guy need this much infrastructure, so maybe we need to purchase those infrastructure. And the challenge here was, we purchase that's fine, no problem, because to build infrastructure for that developer, it takes actually time. It takes 1 day or 2 days. But nowadays, with just a couple of clicks, those CPUs, RAM, storage, all are available for you straight away, right? So that's the advantage of using infrastructure as a service in terms of managing your resources or leverage your resources. Now we have more idea with this example that how we can start leveraging infrastructure as a service in the cloud. You need to understand a little bit more about the advantages and why you need to use IaaS for your organization. So the very first point, actually, I try to make this in a simple and short format. So let me try to give you some example as well and try to discuss more about these points which is written in this slide. So the very first is the compute ready instantly. Exactly, guys. Because as I mentioned that if the developer needs something from us on premises infrastructure, it's very hard us to build immediately to make available those resources for the developers or even for the organizational purpose. Obviously, we need to find time to build those infrastructure. You need to purchase the hardware. You need to find the best code from the market. Then you need to purchase them. You need to start make the connections properly. Then you need to purchase some extra networking devices so that you can connect straight away with the internet. You need to contact ISP to purchase extra bandwidth. Then you need to start making these routing access, that if this server is built, then what are the routers will make the connection to this particular web server or whatever the server you would like to build. Then the next step, you need to also think about the operating system level. You need to start installing the operating system. Then you applying patches. You need to maintain those servers always running in the infrastructure, especially in terms of physical security or physical infrastructure I'm talking about here. So but right now with the infrastructure as a service, you don't need to worry about those because you're directly set to the cloud. I said, hey, CSP, you need to maintain all these server. You need to worry about all the hardware. You need to help to upgrade those hardware for me because we would like to always on top. We don't need to worry about how you build your infrastructure, how you make the connection. I just need those services to be running perfectly fine for my infrastructure. So basically these all are available for you and you don't need to worry a very big part of the infrastructure. So once you click, let's say I would like to build this IaaS VM or virtual machine in the cloud. After click ready or create, with just couple of minutes, just I think within 5 minutes, because I'm trying to show you with an example here as well. So within 5 minutes, the VM's gonna be ready for you and you can start using those anytime you want from anywhere as well you want. So there's a many advantages as well. And the next one is the agile cloud infrastructure and flexible. We have discussed many times that today's you would like to build an infrastructure for your developer with the, let's say 10 servers at a time. Just some of clicks or with some of the clicks in the cloud, your servers are ready to use. And when your developer said, hey, I have finished my testing, so I don't need those servers, with just a couple of clicks, you can simply remove those servers. So overall bottom line is pay as you go, like how much you are using these resources, you just need to pay only for that. So it's actually very much flexible, especially in terms of for IT infrastructure or IT administrator. And as I mentioned, the deployment is quickly, actually it's very quick. Don't worry, once I finish why IaaS, I will show you in this real Azure infrastructure that how we can start building those. Actually, this is not a video to show you, but this is just a purpose to give you some idea or some glimpse that how we can see the options and how we can see the information in the Azure portal while we are building those virtual machines. The next part is actually, this is a very interesting and very important, because while these on-premises server running, and it is not in the cloud, you always are in the control. I think this is what you always want, right? So while you're moving this infrastructure to the cloud, please do not worry. These cloud solutions provider will not maintain those servers. Actually, it's a kind of shared responsibility. They just give you the infrastructure to build your physical kind of environment. But the rest of the things like the server security, the other deployment in the operating system, you have to do that. And that's actually the good thing, because you always are in the control. Definitely you don't want that these CSPs or any of the like big players like Microsoft, Google, Amazon would like to see information what exactly you are running in your infrastructure, right? So you're always in the control. So point here is you just take your physical server from on-premises to the cloud, but other responsibilities to maintain those data, your security, everything is in your control. So it's always there for you. And the next one is you don't need to worry about the hardware maintenance. That's what we have discussed in our example, that every time any new hardware comes in the market, it is the responsibility of these cloud solutions provider to purchase those hardware and upgrade that for us in the backend. And we even don't get to know that it is upgrading, because they have a big, large environment and they copy your data from one place to another, and you always access those data 24/7, 365 days without a hassle. Correct? So guys, before to jump in with the real example on the Azure portal, because the purpose of that example is to just show you that what options we can see while creating the virtual machine in the infrastructure. So, but remember, when we talk about IaaS, we always need to think about server and storage, your firewall, security and networking, and your data center and building. That's all we are maintaining in IaaS when we have to worry about our on-premises infrastructure and try to migrate those to the cloud. Always remember that. If you wish or plan to learn more about Azure certification, I think this is the right place to start with. You need to just go to this website and create an account within Azure, because it will help you to link your account within subscription, and that subscriptions give you a specific dollars to build your application, your virtual machine testing environment properly. So guys, this is actually free of cost, and it does not require any money to spend on. So what you need to do, at least to create an account, simply go to this website and create an Hotmail or Outlook account, log in with that, and after that simply click on start, because as soon as you click on start, it will actually recognize your Hotmail or Outlook account like this one as mine, and you're ready to go after you click on confirm Microsoft account. Actually, I have done this step in the past 2 years ago, so my account is ready. So basically it's right here. So let me come back to the home so that you can see the home screen where all sort of resources and services are available for me. So basically in this example, we just need to start with the learning of how we can start creating a virtual machine. Actually, I would like to give you more information on the virtualization. Virtualization actually, guys, it's a kind of way of deploying your infrastructure on a single physical server, and you can build many virtual machine, which means you can install Linux operating system on that, you can install Windows operating system on that, you can if you want to test your firewall, you can also build a test application or test firewall on the same physical hardware. So I will try to give you more practical information in upcoming videos, because I do need to create a virtual environment within my on-premises lab as well as on the cloud, so we can see more details there. But just to understand, when we talk about virtual machine, the meaning of that is it's actually on the virtualized environment, and in Microsoft Azure we are using Hyper-V virtualized or hypervisor to build these virtual machines for all the subscriptions for everyone in the globe. Anyway, let's cut that off and start trying to create a virtual machine. So what you need to do, you simply need to click on virtual machine on the page. It will come back on this screen, and as you can see, I don't have any virtual machine at the moment. Just click add. As soon as you click add, it will first start helping you to choose what is your subscription, and after that, resource group. Don't worry guys, whatever the names you can see right here, I will definitely give you more and much precise details as per the topics. But as of now, don't need to think and worry. So I'm just trying to choose any one of the resource group I has created at the moment, and I would like to give my virtual machine name. So Harsh Windows as an example. So what is the region? Because you can choose the data center. Where do you want to create this VM, on which data center? Which is I would recommend that whatever the data center is nearby your country or location, that would be best, because it will give you the best latency in terms of accessing those resources. But anyway, the purpose here is like you can choose anyone at the moment. So I choose this Australia Central, and after that I don't want to talk about this availability options at the moment. So image, that means which kind of operating system you would like to create here. So Linux, Red Hat, SUSE, CentOS, anyone. But as an example today, I'm going to choose Windows Server 2019. Azure Spot instance. At the moment, I don't need. The important thing is, available location. So let me try to change my location from here to, let's say, East US, right? So maybe here it can show me that my subscription can create virtual machine in the West US location at the moment. So let's try to understand more, because as we have discussed that actually this cloud is very much flexible. So when you click on change size, actually the purpose of this example is to just show you this one. So here you can see there are a couple of types of VM, and all of them having a different kind of resources. Like this VM has only one CPU, RAM is only 500 MB, 2 data disk we can attach, and the price here is very less, only $3 in a month for a test. So as I said, how much money is in your pocket, you can choose your infrastructure or build your virtual machine accordingly. Let me show you even more. If you clear all these filters, you can see many more, including even this one. 16 CPU, 112 GB RAM, 64 data disk you can attach, and even more. If you go down, you can choose different kind of SKUs or different kind of virtual machine with sizes you can choose to build your virtual machine. So for example, I like this one. As soon as you choose this, just click select and you're ready to move to the next step. So let's come back to our slide and let's try to understand next topic, that is platform as a service. Platform as a service. I'm sure all the developers in the world are actually happy nowadays because of this cloud computing concepts. I remember and I can imagine it was a very hard time for them, because every time they need to start building, test any application, they need to contact the local on-premises IT administrator, and after they raise their request that what exactly the hardware they need, these IT administrators start building those servers, or if in case they need to purchase, they just start contacting those vendors in the market and finding the right resource for these developers. So actually for this whole process, they might, or I remember sometime they need to wait for 1 week or even 1.5 weeks. Until then, they were kind of frustrated and say, hey, we don't have anything to test, and it's very hard for them to meet their deadlines. But now the things are completely changed, because once we talk about the Azure services or any of the cloud services, your infrastructure is right on the cloud, right? And we just discussed that we can create virtual machines in a quick or in a no time, because you just simply need to choose what server, what kind of storage you need, or what kind of security you required, and you don't need to worry about any maintenance, any power backup nowadays. So I think these all steps can be done by any developer as well straight away, because the next step in platform as a service is considered as installing the operating system. So guys, previously, again, these developers need to wait for these IT administrator to install applications or operating systems for them so that they can start working on that specific provided hardware or at least the application. But now this is not the picture, because let's go back to our example actually, where I can show you what I'm trying to explain here. So this is the virtual machine we were trying to create earlier, and here you can see we simply just choose Windows Server 2019, or if you like to build any application on Oracle, Red Hat, or any other operating system, simply choose here. Once your image has been chosen, and you just need to click on review and create, because I imagine that you already select your disks, your network security, whatever the way you want. And after that, just click on create. Within 5 minutes, your VM is ready and it has installed that operating system as well. How cool is that? So that's the reason I'm happy for the developers, because that now they don't need to wait for IT administrator for some days or many days, that they can start working on their application, because they do best in one thing: creating application. Now there's no blocker for them. Simply go to the portal, click on create virtual machine, the size whatever they want they can choose, and click create. Everything is ready for them and they can start immediately building those applications. Not only that, if they are interesting to copy their own application from on-premises, they can do that. Because Azure actually gave us as an option that you can create an express route between site to site from your on-premises to Azure virtual machines, where you can directly create a connection and you can copy your data straight from your on-premises to Azure virtual machine. So it's very easy. So I think that's what the platform as a service is offered, and including with that, it also offered some of the developers tool, because actually you don't need to create those tools from very beginning. Or let's say you start building any application and you need to write a code from very scratch. I can imagine it was in the past. Everybody has to do that. There was no choice. But now the things are changing rapidly and everybody wants result within less period of time. So if you start building your codes from very scratch, it took some time. It takes a couple of even days to build those applications. But if everybody needs those applications right within a limited period of time, I think you better choose the dev tools available or offered by these cloud solutions providers within their portals, and based on your requirement you can choose them. Half of the code is written, you just need to modify, or you can create or start building even a better application right after that, because most of the basic work has been done by other developers who has already offered these services. So actually it's really handy for all the developers to do their stuff in quick time. So let's try to understand a little bit more about the requirement, about why and what is platform as a service. I think most of you now already understood that actually it is only for developers, right? That's the very first bullet point, and this is the very first thing we need to understand. That the second thing is that's the pain point. It was a pain point, not nowadays, if your organizations are already on the cloud, because as I mentioned that previously, they need to wait for IT administrator to create the infrastructure they need to create, build, or test application, because they do best in one thing: testing or creating or building those applications, right? They don't need to worry, or they don't need to think about how this infrastructure has to be taken care of. And now actually the things are getting easier, right? Because if you choose a platform as a service, which is a part of this Azure subscription, because we are talking about the Azure services here. So you simply go to the virtual machine and choose your operating system, and everything is ready. And after that, you can start building, start developing, and testing your application in no time, because your server is ready within 5 minutes. So I think it's a happy moment for all the developers, right? So because that's what I mentioned, the next point, that it is all about the operating system, because they were worried that how the operating system need to be installed, what are the challenges, because they don't need to worry about the file system, they don't need to worry about the volume, the sizes, they just need to worry about the storage size. So nowadays, within that process in Azure portal, they can choose which storage or what kind of storage they need, and everything is ready for them. Simple. And next one, why they need is because now they don't need to worry installing the operating system. That's what I mentioned, or patches, and they have a less work to do on that regard, because IT administrators sometimes was busy in other thing, and it took some time for them to patch those servers, or even it has been patched, they find out some trouble, make the connection. For example, if they are using WSUS, these are some words, guys, some terms. You don't need to worry if you are hearing these words for the first time. Please do not worry. It has nothing to do with this series, because but we can discuss further in detail, so don't worry. So actually they don't need to worry about the patches or web servers, that how we can start building those. Everything is simply ready right after just creating the virtual machine. And one more thing I would like to mention here, that some of the developers, as I mentioned, they don't need to start building their dev tools from very beginning, because these dev tools or developer tools are already available within Azure Marketplace. Let's do one thing. Let me show you actually this in the Marketplace. So let's go back to the Azure portal. So actually I just search for Marketplace, in the Azure portal, and in the marketplace, I simply click on developer tools, and I can find there are some of the developer tools are available, and actually these varies based on different subscriptions. So I have a very limited subscription, and Microsoft offered me only these dev tools. But if you are an enterprise subscription or even a higher level, then you can find a lots of developer tools right there, and you can start building. Just click on these and things are ready for you. So meaning is that half of the code is provided by these developers via dev tools, and half of the code you guys can write down and it will be easy for you, right? So even for DevOps, I can see that some of the DevOps are also available if you like building CentOS with Salt Stack. So I mean, things are getting easier nowadays, and even so that's why expectation is higher for the developer and with the developers, because everybody wants them to create application or test applications faster. So guys, this is all about the platform as a service. I think you get some idea that why we need it, and the whole purpose is it will make life easier for developers in terms of the infrastructure is ready, in terms of dev tools are ready for them, so that they can start building their application faster. Software as a service. Now this is very much interesting to know that our softwares are actually available to use straight in the cloud. I think you're quite confused, right? Let me help you to understand it better. So the point is, previously when we talk about the organization, when they start developing their application, so basically what they need to do, they need to build or bring their infrastructure to the cloud using IaaS, where they just need to choose whatever they need from the storage. They need to work on the security, what kind of security they need, or they don't need to worry obviously from the data center part. But point is, they need to deploy their infrastructure in the cloud and just take care of what is running. Obviously, they don't need to worry about the maintenance part. They don't need to worry about the hardware part. But again, they need to still just take care of the things which is running in the cloud, and they have a shared responsibility, which we have discussed, right? So after this infrastructure is ready, the organization's next step is to start developing tools, installing operating system, and their developers start creating the code, writing the codes, and testing, building those applications to use, right? So they spend a couple of months, or maybe it depends on like number of days they complete or what kind of application that is. So point is, they start writing codes to build that application, right? So that's how the software as a service comes into the picture. Because now, in case you don't need to worry, or if you don't want to worry about IaaS or PaaS, you just need to use software and access your application straight away. That's how software as a service comes into the picture. Because developers give us this already hosted application which is already in the cloud, and actually they're maintaining all this IaaS, this PaaS straight. I mean, you don't need to worry anything on that, because if I try to make you understand about software as a service, we use it every day. Think about email services. We use Gmail, we use Hotmail or Outlook, right? Every day, correct? Whenever you need email, just go to Gmail, write down your information, and your account is ready to use. That's your email ID. If you need a business email, you simply go to Office 365, purchase a subscription, write down your domain information, and your email services is directly connected to your domain. So that means you have a business runs with your own domain name, correct? It's pretty much easy and straightforward. You don't need to build any infrastructure for those email services. You do not build any codes for that. You simply type in your domain name in Office 365, and it actually automatically associated within your own business email with the email services, obviously, and your everything is ready straight away. So you don't need to think much. So that's how we simply focus on using those applications instead of focus on infrastructure or writing code. So that's how the software as a service comes into the picture. I think I try making these things clear, right? Or I give you Another example. Now, if we talk about the storage, because I think everybody is using Google Cloud, or I mean at least the Gmail Cloud, which is actually a Google Drive. So in that Google Drive, you got, I think, 15 GB free space, right? You do not write down any code. You do not maintaining any infrastructure. You're simply using services provided by these hosted application or from cloud solutions providers, right? Understood? So same way, in Azure services, many organizations are offered their hosted application. They already hosted those applications in the cloud platform. They already write codes for you. You just need to go to the application, write down or bring some information, whatever they need, and things are ready to use straight away. So same way, if I go to our Azure services, you can find some of the software as a service is right there for us. For example, if you want to embed any of the map information within your own application, or you just want to purchase or just want to use your hosted application for the maps, simply use the API from Bing Maps and things are ready for you straight away after that. If you need an email service, or if you want to host anything email services within Azure, you can use Mailjet email service. This is just an example. Similarly, there are other hosted applications are already there for you, and you can find even a bunch of more if you have a different subscription. So the point here is, for these all application, you can see right on the page, you do not write code. You are not maintaining any infrastructure. You don't need to create any VM for that. Simply go to these already running softwares or hosted application, purchase them, or purchase the subscription, whatever is offered by these organization, and things are ready to use straight away. You simply need to use the application offered by these companies, and things are easy to use right after that. So guys, the purpose here is to explain that, yeah, these are also getting popular day by day, because software as a service brings lots of easy work for many organizations. So that's how the very first bullet point is, what is SaaS? Because it's actually cloud-based hosted application. Things all are running in the cloud. So nothing is on premises, and people can access anywhere, anytime, because what they need, just internet connection, that's all. And obviously that's what I mentioned, that what they just need to access is they need to download the specific application offered by these hosted application or whatever the hosted apps, and using those apps you can access whatever the way you want or whatever that application meant to. Simple and easy. I give you already best example. Gmail is the best example, or for storage, if you talk about if you are using a storage nowadays, so Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, these are very popular ones we are using. We do not maintain any infrastructure for the storages. We are not writing any codes for them. Actually, they did everything for us. We are simply using their services via subscription. So that's how software as a service actually works. And obviously, once you sign up with the subscription, things are immediately available for internet users, right? That's all actually we are doing at the moment. Whatever we like on these hosted application, simply we purchase subscriptions like Netflix. If we talk about the streaming services, they write codes for us. They bring those entertainment media for us. They bring or deploy those Netflix or any other streaming media or services on the cloud. Everything is done by them. We simply purchase subscription and using it. So actually I'm trying to give different examples so you won't be confused to understand about the software as a service. I hope this makes very much clear to you. And why SaaS? Obviously, the first thing is subscription based. So again, how much you use, it doesn't matter. You have a subscription. How much you would like to use within that subscription offer, it's already right there for you. So pretty easy, pretty handy. Worldwide access, yes, you can access it from anywhere, anytime, and anytime, even right away, right now, simply you can access it. Just go to the application and check your emails. You can have all the information you need right in your app. And all the all the data access available right on your fingertips. Obviously, that's what I mentioned, that every second things are getting synchronized, things are getting backed up automatically, because we don't know these things is happening in behind the scene if any disaster happen. What we just care about, our data should be safe. We are able to access that data 24/7. And that's how software as a service played for us. So guys, this is all about like SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Actually, I use and pronounce them wrong. It should be IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. AaaS is just an as a service, so that's okay. But infrastructure, platform, and software. So these three things are actually a model of a cloud computing or cloud platform. So when we start, doing these practices or doing some practicals, they are going to be related from these particular services. So don't worry, we will also do the practical. We are just understanding what these things are and how they are helping us in today's world. I hope guys you find this video quite helpful, and it gives you some more and better idea about the cloud concepts. So we will start doing more practicals in the future videos, so stay tuned for that. God bless. Take care of your health and your family, as this is a COVID-19 situation. See you in next video. Peace.